What is up, guys? Coming at you today with the final Monster Hunter Thoughts video, and we're going to be covering the big bad black dragon of the game, good old Fatalis. So the footage that you're going to be seeing here is post-commentary, obviously, but this is my first clear that I ever got against him, and it's actually rare that you'll ever see me get like footage of a first clear in any of these fights to commentate over. But yeah, so here's my Fatalis ever first clear, and I did this with 4 random people, and they were really good. I had a really good fun time with them. But before this fight even starts, like while I'm flying in here on the Wing Drake, let me just tell you right now: do not come into this fucking fight without fully augmented and upgraded armor, something to guard against dragon and fire damage. So, I mean, I use the Elatrion armor, as you can see. And then you need a dragon weapon. Do not come to this fight with anything else but dragon, because he is 3 stars weak to dragon, and you need all the damage you can get within this 30-minute time limit. Yes, I know what I just said. 30 minutes for this fucking fight. And let me tell you, I like the pressure. It's not really pressure. I always found myself having enough time to do this fight. It didn't feel like Kulve Taroth levels of like, oh my god, we gotta get going and do damage to Fatalis. No, the 30 minutes is just there to kind of, I don't know, I felt like it mimicked the old quests of Fatalis where you only had 35 minutes for him. But yeah, I love this quest. I love the little the little preamble, I guess you could say, to it, with when you fight him with the Ace Cadet, and he does the support. He does Dust of Life, gunning support on you, and while you try to like fight Fatalis off. I like that little story bit of this fight. I love this setting too. The Castle Strayed setting from the original game. It looks great. But yeah, besides the whole lore and story of the fight and that, let's talk about the fight itself. Oh, sorry for saying so much, goddamn. But so his fight is broken up into 3 phases. Right now we're in the first phase, and you'll know when you go to another phase when he starts to do his screen nuke attack, which you'll see later. But the first phase of this fight is pretty easy. You basically just gotta do damage to him. What you want to primarily focus on is just like breaking just breaking anything you can on him, or just like tenderizing him and trying to break parts. Obviously, as you saw earlier, there were those 2 cannons right up where he's kind of standing right now. You can have 2 other people bait him in the standing in front of it, and then just blast him with it, or like I'm doing, just blast him with Ballista. You typically want to start weakening the head as much as you can. The head is an essential thing to break in this fight, and I'll explain more of that later once the time comes. But yeah, he's, in terms of like his difficulty, he's hard. Like I'll just say that right now. He wasn't ball-bustingly frustrating like Elatrion was. I feel like Elatrion was more of a circumstances of people not understanding that they have to follow the fight like it's an MMO fight with the elemental DPS check. This is just kind of like learning his attack patterns, kind of like with all the other monsters in the game. So yeah, I will say this fight is definitely soloable. You know, there's people out there, you know, you have Ruri out there who soloed it, you had Kanta who soloed it. I don't know about Herney. I don't know if he soloed it or not. I didn't check his stream or anything, but you know, it's definitely a soloable fight, but it'll give you a run for your fucking money. Like, I haven't cleared this fight. I've gotten super close, like down to the last 10 minutes, always, of doing this fight. You just gotta be on point with everything that you're doing. I definitely recommend really agile weapons, so I'm a glaive main, so I always just come to every new fight with glaive to get used to it that way. And then once I clear it once with glaive, I'll give it a shot with like maybe long sword or dual blades or something else. But I would definitely recommend anything like insect glaive or dual blades. I hear Lance is really good, because Lance can do a fucking cool ass thing where when he has his like fire breath attack that sweeps the whole area. You might see it here soon. I can't remember how this fight goes for me, but you can tank the flames, and then they'll just kind of like burn around you. It's super cool. It's like that fantasy shit. It's super cool looking. Team composition for this fight. I recommend, if you're playing with friends, you know, I'm super used to playing fucking MMOs at this point, especially Final Fantasy 14, but definitely recommend like three people who are attackers, oh, excuse me, 3 people who attack, and then 1 person that like this random guy I have right here. He's a hunting horn support. We would not have won this fight without this guy. I can just say that right now. I would not have trust myself to heal enough and like other people to heal to in order to survive. So yeah, definitely bring in a hunting horn if you can. So here's the end of the first phase. So he's doing his weird shield nuke thing. Just like in the story, you're gonna want to come behind this like piece of the castle and guard against the fucking flame. I love this shit. Like, look at how cool this looks. The fact that the metal is fucking burning from the fire is just absolutely cool. And I thought originally that lava that would land on you from the metal being burnt, it was actually just gonna hurt you. It was a funny thing. But yeah, so now we're on phase 2 of the fight. So phase 2 is it's pretty much the same as phase 1. He just goes into the air a little bit more now, and he's a little bit more aggressive, I'd say. I'd definitely say save your ballista, like save your roaming ballista and or your binding shot for around phase 3. Try and do as much damage as you can right now without having to do that, just because phase 3 is such a fucking trip to actually it's like such a trip to learn, and it's super duper ridiculously hard that I would save your binding and your like stuff to stun him for that phase. Same goes with insect glaives or mounts. Try and say I think you only get 1 mount in this fight. You might get 2 with mounting master, but I haven't done it yet. I've only been able to get 1. But save your mount for phase 3. And we'll get to that soon, but here's that fire sweeping attack I was talking about earlier. Lances can totally just tank through that if they have guard up and like guard level 5. But yeah, his fight's really fun. It's actually a fun, challenging fight. I know a lot of people are complaining about it, and I saw that there's a fucking a thing on PC to half his damage. You don't need that for this fight. Like, just play it enough to learn it, and then, find a good group of randoms or some friends or, like, on a Discord to run you through this. But, yeah, it's basically, this whole fight amounts to learn his attacks, learn just, like, when to get in there, do some damage, run out. Just be careful. And then make sure you tenderize. If you're with a group of people, always keep tenderizing him and working on either his wings or his head if you can. So enough about the fight for now until we get to third phase. Let's talk about like just his design and everything and his just how he was made for World. What can I say? He looks great. He looks way better than his GU counterpart where, this is night and day. This is a PS4, that's a Switch. So I love his design. So his theme's pretty good, right? I like his new theme, but I will say there's something about the original Fatalis theme that just gets me going and feels like more like I'm fighting a fucking god than this one. This one feels a lot more Dark Souls-y, like Choir, in my opinion. But it's still damn good. I'm not going to deny it. This is a very good rendition of Fatalis' theme. The setting, like Castle Strayed, it's such a unique take on Castle Strayed. Let's look at Monster Hunter 1 where it's such like a boring fucking box, and then go to Monster Hunter 4, or I don't remember what Castle Strayed kind of looks like in GU. It doesn't look like this. This is a lot more like menacing. This feels like you're fighting a final boss in a fucking game. I love this shit. I love Castle Strayed setting. And just the environment, how it affects the environment too. Like when Fatalis does his attacks. It looks so cool. So yeah, he's definitely a big step up, like from the past Fatalis' fights. Like I will say, going from like Monster Hunter 1, or for me it was Freedom, I didn't play Monster Hunter 1. Going from like Monster Hunter Freedom to this game, it's like fucking, dude. It's like you're playing an NES game compared to like a fucking Xbox game. Like, that's just the kind of comparison of the fight it is. Fatalis is so much more high energy and has more variety in his moves now. I love that so much. I will say, the thing I do miss about this fight, about Fatalis' fight though, is I miss his weird dragon noises, I guess he'd make. Like, I miss him going, like, when he does the fire sweep, like the fire vortex sweep is what I call it. I miss his, like, weird of noise he makes when he does it from like the older games, but that's just a little nitpick for me. Oh, here's me barely avoiding the fucking the fire sweep. I gotta just Superman dive it, because yeah. That's another, yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying right there, is that you're not gonna be able to do that fight on this fight unless you got a healer, really, or you just plan out where you're gonna be standing and stuff, because he does not fuck around. Fatalis does not fuck around. At first I was listening to people like Ruri and them make videos, and they're like, I'm okay if I don't beat Fatalis. And I'm like, no, I want to beat him, but I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to beat him because he's a hard fight. That definitely was alleviated after I beat him the first time, and then every other time I fought him, I basically cleared him because all the other groups knew what they were doing. So, that kind of went away. You guys shouldn't be scared of this fight. It's just another one of those, like, you gotta do it enough to learn it, and this fight is literally barely 48 hours old. You just gotta get used to everything, just like how Elatrion was, basically. But yeah, no, this is such a high energy fight, and I will say I may or may not give this fight a really good score later on. I don't think I'm gonna sit here and wait until he gets into his other phases to talk about them. So I'm just gonna kind of give a brief overview right now. But when he gets into his third phase, all he does is that he starts to breathe blue fire. You gotta break his head to get rid of it, and then after that, all you gotta do is just hit him with the Dragonator. Proof of the Hero starts playing, and then go to town on him. So that's basically the new Fatalis fight. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think. I'd give him probably a good 9.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching, and that is it for the Monster Hunter Thoughts videos. So I may or may not make videos for Rise. I'll have to get recording equipment for my Switch to do that, but for now, this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the series, and thanks so much for watching. Happy hunting.